Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome. My name is Nurit Galansky Bisanya, and I'm currently District 1 City Commissioner for the City of Brownsville, but I stand here before you as the Mayor Pro Tem. Thank you for joining the City of Brownsville Border Patrol Rio Grande Valley sector for this press conference as we address a recent significant increase in migrants arriving at the U.S.-Mexico border in South Brownsville. Over the last couple of days, we have seen an uptick in undocumented migrants crossing at the Rio Grande River, just south of the University of Texas Rio Grande Valley. Here at the City of Brownsville, we're about addressing and managing matters in a proactive manner versus a reactive manner. The City of Brownsville has been successfully managing migrant border crossings for years now, and we have done so with a humanitarian approach, respectfully and always in alignment with U.S. law and regulations, and this case is no different. On April 27th, as Mayor Pro Tem, I signed a disaster declaration. These migrants that are making their way through Brownsville, they are not here to stay. They have a final destination outside of Brownsville, and we will manage this with due process as these individuals seek asylum and eventually move on to their final destination. Joining me here today are speakers who will take the podium shortly and make remarks regarding this matter. Joining me is Chief Patrol Agent Gloria Chavez from the U.S. Border Patrol RGV sector, Chief Jarrett Sheldon from the Brownsville Fire Department, the City Manager Helen Ramirez, and then Odie Leal, who is the Chief of Emergency Operations, and then Chief Sauceda from the Brownsville Police Department. Sí, claro.
Sorry.
¿Ya salió bien? Ok. Y si no, empezamos de nuevo en español. No. Bueno. As a city elected official, I want to ensure that we manage this moment, these events happening right now at the border, with respect, with integrity, and within the guidelines of the laws. These are men, women, and children who are seeking asylum for reasons unknown to us. They are on a journey to reunite with family members. As a city, we recognize the importance of being prepared and organized to address any challenge that may arise. We are taking measures to ensure the safety and well-being of all our residents, regardless of their background or immigration status. In light of recent events, it is crucial for our community to be well-equipped and organized when responding to challenges such as this. Thank you, and now I'd like to welcome Chief Patrol Agent Gloria Chavez.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Gloria Chavez. I am the Chief Patrol Agent of the Rio Grande Valley sector here in South Texas. And I'm very grateful for all of you to be here today as we continue to message and share with the community the status and circumstances affecting our border environment. You know, here in recent days, we have seen an uptick in migration. It's a migrant influx. The majority of them are Venezuelan nationals. To date, since October 1st to yesterday, we have had about 165,000 nationals enter illegally into the United States in the entire Rio Grande Valley. That's from Brownsville, Texas, or Fort Brown, all the way up to Rio Grande City, across through Falfurrias, Kingsville, to Corpus Christi, and back down. So it's a very large area, 277 border miles, and about 317 coastal miles that we patrol. We monitor the border very carefully. We have been now for many, many years. The men and women who wear this uniform are there 24/7, working very feverishly to protect this nation. Similarly, they're there making rescues of people that get in situations where they need to have themselves saved from certain elements or events that happen, as well as tragically, many of them experience death. For us, it was very important for me to ensure that the community was kept up to speed and up to date on everything going on the border. And as you know, Title 42 is something that we have had in place now. It's an authority from a public health pandemic and side of things to keep an eye on the spread of COVID-19. Well, Title 42 is scheduled to sunset May 11th, and we are making all the arrangements and preparations in order for us to be ready for the sunset of that authority, which means for us that we will traditionally continue to now do Title 8 processing as we always have and continue to do even to this day. The situation here in the city of Brownsville caught our attention because very quickly we started seeing an uptick in migration. We started looking at the specifics throughout the region. Traditionally, the three busiest stations for the Rio Grande Valley Border Patrol is McAllen Station, as well as Rio Grande City and Fort Brown. And then out of the ordinary, we start seeing entries happening in Brownsville, Texas, right along the golf course area to the south there. So we immediately began to monitor and assess the situation, and we start noticing the majority of that uptick is related to Venezuelan nationals, many of them, as you know, who have been waiting south of the river in encampments there in that location. Many of them are applying through to the CBP One app at the port of entry, but at the same time are getting frustrated and because they're waiting to get their court date and get their process underway. So here over, like, I want to say the first 2 weeks of April, we were averaging about maybe 1,700 Venezuelan nationals entering illegally into the country through that particular area of Brownsville. And then 2 weeks later, towards the end, here the last 8 days, we saw an uptick of over 15,000 Venezuelans. So for us, it's quite concerning because the logistical challenge that we encounter is massive for us to be able to invest not only in security, because we want every migrant to be safe, as well as our Border Patrol agents working the front lines, but also the transportation piece. We have two major facilities in the Rio Grande Valley sector, one in Donna and one in McAllen. The capacity is about 4,000. And we also have our stations that we usually do not hold people there temporarily because of our two facilities. Well, today we have overcapacity. We are at about 7,500 in holding, and we continue to receive people crossing illegally through this area of Brownsville. We have shifted resources to this particular location. As I mentioned, over the last 8 days, we have been investing in the security of that region, and we not only have Border Patrol agents that now have been pulled to do some of the processing and logistical requirements that are required there in that area, but we also have leaned on our partners, and the law enforcement team that we have here is phenomenal. I think it was day 2 when Chief of Police Sauceda and his team here for Brownsville Police Department showed up on their own to assist us with security. Perimeter security is super important because once we have custody of the migrants, it is our responsibility that we keep them safe, that we keep them clean, that we keep them fed and healthy. So leaning on our law enforcement partners to help us do that is an amazing thing. So after that, we got some other law enforcement cities like Rancho Viejo, Los Indios, Harlingen, Cameron County SO, everybody pitching in, as well as Texas DPS, to help us with that perimeter security. Following that is our transportation piece, right? We have about 29 to 30 buses that are mobile throughout the entire sector, and the idea is to be able to transport people from this location in Brownsville to our central processing centers, and if not there, straight to other cities. We are in partnership with the Laredo Border Patrol and the Del Rio Border Patrol. They are absorbing buses that are going now to Laredo and buses that are going to Eagle Pass, which is part of the Del Rio sector. Those are on a daily basis, and we're continuing to decompress as quickly as possible. The migrants that we encounter in the area of the golf course here in Brownsville, that area is being used as a very temporary staging point. We have idling buses that are there. Through mobile technology, our Border Patrol agents now, with a handheld device, are able to immediately register biometrics and photographs into the system that then runs record checks, et cetera, so that the migrant is able to then wait and then board a bus out of that area. That is the new way of us efficiently getting people out of a certain region. And for us, it's very important that they don't congregate in that location and that we're able to get them closer to central processing centers and/or back to other locations outside the RGV. Another critical partner for us that we've been working very closely with is the government of Mexico. Mexico is critical in this type of operation. It is daily communication with my counterpart of the Director of Immigration on the Mexican side, and they are absorbing as well Venezuelan nationals in coordination of what they can absorb in Matamoros. So it's a coordinated effort every day. And one thing that I want to make very clear that is super important for every migrant that's out there or people that are intending to cross, Title 42 is still in place. So if Title 42 is still in place until May 11th, we are going to continue encountering you, processing you, and then immediately expelling you through a port of entry. So that is a return that is happening on a daily basis. So one of the things that we're doing very proactively is that we are messaging this as much as possible, whether it's directly to the encampments that are there south of the river, to the different shelters that are holding migrants in the river, as well as our law enforcement partners, Grupo Beta, INAMI, and everyone else that can assist with messaging that to the nationals from Venezuela that are crossing. We have encountered over 72 nationalities in the Rio Grande Valley. It is not only Venezuela. There are Chinese nationals as well that we have had an uptick on, as well as Honduras and Mexican nationals as well. So it is a very busy season for us. We are very much tuned in with the partnerships and the coordination logistically. But for us, number one priority is to be able to process people as quickly as possible, place them on a bus or a flight, and get them out of the RGV area to their next immigration pathway. We don't want to delay that process because then it delays everything else. But I couldn't be more proud of the Brownsville team, these local officials, Mayor Mendez, and the entire team that's here have been just amazing, very supportive of our efforts. You know, Brownsville is dear to my heart. It is my hometown, and I am very invested in ensuring that our community is safe, that our community residents are taken care of, and that we are able to also provide the service that these migrants deserve without delaying any type of process. But we do want to make sure that they're healthy and that they're safe. One of the things that, as the chief of the RGV, I'm very highly concerned about is burnout for my agents, because they are also human beings and they endure a lot during influxes like this. So we're doing our very best to ensure that our agents are well taken care of, that we give them the equipment and the resources that they need to get the job done, so at the end of the day they can go home safely as well. So there's a lot of movement going on the ground. I thank you for your interest in today's event, and I'll be available for questions here very soon. Thank you.
En muy breve, para los hispanohablantes, les voy a dar un resumen de lo que se ha dicho. Mi nombre es Nurit Kalonsky Pisaña, yo soy comisionada del Distrito 1 aquí en Brownsville, pero ahorita estoy en el rol de alcalde, ya que nuestro alcalde está fuera de la ciudad. Muy breve, ayer, el 27 de abril, firmé una orden de emergencia declarando un estado de emergencia porque ha habido un incremento de personas indocumentadas cruzando por la frontera en donde está la Universidad de UTRGV por las canchas del Gulf. Como nosotros, como ciudad, nuestra obligación es proteger a los residentes que viven aquí, y también que nos importa el bienestar de los que quieren cruzar. Hemos pedido auxilio de otros departamentos estatales y federales para que nos ayuden a hacer este proceso o manejar esta situación de la mejor manera para el bienestar de todos los que están involucrados. Entonces, la señora Gloria Chávez nos dio un resumen de estadísticas que justifican la decisión que hemos hecho, y juntos vamos a trabajar para tratar de resolver esta situación y que se maneje lo más fluido posible. Las personas que están tratando de entrar no se quieren quedar aquí. su meta es llegar a otros destinos y entonces les vamos a tratar de ayudar, de hacerlo lo más rápido posible. Sí.
Okay.
And my apologies, I understand that when there was a call for questions, that we got about 3,000 of them, so we are going to respond. That was a joke. We're going to respond to you in writing. I was just informed of that. More than happy to do that. Para las personas que nos están escuchando de Latinoamérica, yo solamente quería avisarles aquí a través de estos medios que estamos ahorita experimentando un flujo migratorio muy alto en la región de Brownsville, Texas, aquí en el sur de Texas. Como la jefa de la patrulla fronteriza de esta región, estamos muy asignados a esta zona, estamos invirtiendo muchísimos recursos para poder hacer el encuentro de estos migrantes que están cruzando primariamente de Venezuela, aquí por el río Bravo, entrando en una zona donde realmente antes no teníamos tantos cruces, pero realmente estamos ya preparándonos a través de la unión que tenemos con la ciudad de Brownsville y al igual a los otros compañeros de policíacos y otras agencias dependientes para brindar apoyo y auxilio a personas que necesiten cualquier tipo de servicio médico, pero que quede muy claro que nuestra frontera está bien resguardada. Todavía estamos patrullando estas zonas, estamos asignando el título 42 a las personas que cruzan ilegalmente a este país. El título 42 todavía está en efecto, así que si usted cruza ilegalmente a este país, va a ser procesado y expulsado por algún puerto de entrada y alguna garita. Estamos muy unidos con el gobierno de México en este aspecto y ellos están trabajando con nosotros para recibir a las personas que califican bajo el título 42. Ya que el título 42 no exista, el 11 de mayo es cuando se piensa que se retira esta autoridad. El 12 de mayo vamos a estar nosotros entonces ya operando bajo el título 8, que es un proceso un poquito más largo, pero como quiera requiere la detención de cualquier extranjero o persona que cruza ilegalmente. Esa persona va a ser procesada y después se le va a hacer el proceso legal para lo que le merece o lo que esa persona requiere, hasta inclusive deportación a su país. Así que es muy importante el mensaje para los migrantes que estén escuchando esto, que es muy peligroso cruzar ese río Bravo. Hay mucha vegetación, hay muchos guías y contrabandistas que se están diciendo que no vas a ser afectado. Van a ser afectados por las leyes migratorias de este país si ustedes intentan cruzar ilegalmente. Es muy importante reconocer eso. Los peligros son altos, las corrientes son muy fuertes bajo de ese río que posiblemente pueden también terminar ahogados. Para nosotros vamos a seguir procesando la gente ilegalmente, vamos a llevarla a nuestros centros de procesamiento y a nuestras estaciones y después buscar manera de transporte, ya sea por autobús o vuelos, para llevarlos a otras regiones y darle la salida por allí a México. Así que ese es un riesgo que ellos toman, porque si entras por esta región, posiblemente vas a ser regresado a México y por otro destino, por otro lugar. Gracias por la oportunidad de estar aquí y brindarles esta información. Hay estadísticas que sí les quiero brindar, por lo tanto, hasta la fecha sí hemos ya encontrado casi 165,000 personas entrando ilegalmente aquí en la región del sur de Texas. Inclusive en esta región de Brownsville tenemos más de 15,000 personas que se han encontrado cruzando y la mayoría, el 90% son de Venezuela. También tenemos personas de la China y tenemos personas de Honduras y México, que son las nacionalidades más altas que estamos experimentando ahorita por esta región. Hasta la fecha tenemos detenidos casi 7,500 personas bajo custodia y estamos procesándolos rápidamente para que le den la salida a México o a otras regiones para expulsión, porque el título 42 todavía existe. Muchísimas gracias por su atención y después les brindamos más respuestas a sus preguntas. Gracias.
So now I'll introduce our Director of Communications and Marketing, Mr. Manny Chacon.
Thank you, Commissioner and Mayor Pro Tem Galansky.
And thank you, Chief Chavez. Ladies and gentlemen of the
Press, thank you for your inquiries. They were submitted to us. We did receive them. Please note that at this time, we will not be taking any questions here. We will be responding to your questions. We will be responding to your questions via email. So please be on the lookout for our responses. We will be sending those to you today. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you all for attending our press conference today, and we certainly do appreciate your partnership and your collaboration in delivering this news to the community that we serve. Thank you, everybody. This concludes our press conference.